Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Let's talk about something which really is very, very dear to me. My initiation into spiritual science is through simplified Kundalini Yoga. And I have tried to understand every aspect of Kundalini, chakras, nadis, and Tantra Vidya from beginning till end. And this is one of the concepts which I find is a beautiful book called Sat-Chakra-Nirupana, which talks about six chakras and six goddesses of Tantra Vidya. I'm sure anyone who is going to see six chakras, six goddesses, and Sat-Chakra-Nirupana is going to be surprised because everybody talks of seven chakras, not six chakras. And then top of the body, after six chakras, you find Om written on top of it. Would be all the more astonishing, or maybe something which people may not even understand why Om is written on top. Now, these are the concepts which have transformed me to make optimum use of the human brain to 100%. And let's discuss now, step by step, all the things which I am talking about. Now, let's talk of the first thing which comes to my mind. These are the long videos. I'm making it purposely so that the world understand A to Z, every aspect of every subject completely. It is not hodgepodge something as such in 10, 15, 20 minutes, which everybody is interested. I'm interested leaving behind the legacy of impeccable wisdom for the world to be used as books, and each video is a book by itself. For From that point of view, first step which I tell it all the viewers of my video is, first step, listen to the entire thing, whether it's 60 minutes, 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 90 minutes, whatever it is. At one stop, learn that, listen to that, and record in temporal auditory area to understand what I'm talking about. Second thing, come back again, read script which I've written in that in English, and then try to understand and record that in visual occipital context. Third thing, I would like you to keep everything in your mind and redesign the something in your own ways, the way you understand, on a book which is written, and implant that in entire brain. You will be able to make optimum use of your brain for eternity as such. You should become a walking, talking encyclopedia. And only in that case you could be enlightened, empowered, educated, with impeccable wisdom, which is required for the world to become what we are here to make as a low pollen, custodian, guardians of the world, to make the world peaceful place for everyone, and that can come only through education, nothing other than that. Everything else is secondary. Education is the best, and this is the best way to move on in life, to be healthy, wealthy, wise, and happy. In that context, the prime objective of my life are everybody is physical health, emotional stability, free from disease, and all the impeccable wisdom of all the knowledge is what we should look for to be healthy, wealthy, wise, and happy. But at the same time, I do know we fail to produce even little bit of knowledge in our life. And that is primarily because of our ignorance. We haven't really learnt anything. We are born ignorant, I agree. But rest of the life, you have to learn everything with perfection. And for that, we should not be in inertia. We should be dynamic, learning and implementing each with analysis which is impeccable by and large. And in the process, learn all the 64 arts completely. Only then you can be a perfect human being as the custodian of the world as such. Then come to the question of this particular book which I am talking about is Sat-Chakra-Nirupana. And this is a source of impeccable wisdom for entire Tantra Vidya. And I'm glad the book title which I put is The Serpent Power by Sir John Woodroffe. It's also called Avalon, I agree. But this is a picture of the book which I have with me, which I have read, and I'm referring to this book too. But now I want you to remember in this picture, is written the serpent power, not Sat-Chakra-Nirupana. And right in the center, you can see the dot, and then you can see snake around that dot. There is very symbolic representation. I wonder, anyone who has read that has looked at the white center, which could be a dot, which could be a zero, which could be circular part, a spherical part of the universal consciousness. That is what has to be learnt, which I understand is our Atma, the indwelling soul, and the divine souls are like Shunya, center, dot, spherical, are circular by and large. And it is a Kundalini which gives you the information with that, and that is the Kundalini which I am talking about. Here, it is the Kundalini which is talking about, which is snake paw around, maybe you can Shivalik. Now, let's understand whether that is making a sense for the world that Atma, Antar Atma, Kundalini, also called Aditi, is a dot spherical inert matter as such. And I have gone on record to say indwelling soul is helium 4. While other souls are neon 21, argon 40, krypton, and xenon. And once you understand these five souls, which are part of my last, you will be able to understand universal consciousness completely. For that, you need to knowledge of everything if you want to understand divine mathematics, physics, chemistry, medical sciences, and all the 64 arts completely. You get to understand that only through Deviant and this work. Every other work in the world, people do not like when I say all the people in the world are copycat, trying to read and replicate without even analyzing whether it's right or wrong. We have time for us to come to stage. We should give the world impeccable wisdom. Now come to the Sat-Chakra, the preliminary verse. I'm not going to tell you in Sanskrit, but I'll tell you the essence in English and later maybe when I make Hindi. Now let us explore the first blissful sprout of realization of Brahman. That means this particular Ankur is the first step. We should lead to blissful rising of consciousness to reach Brahman, the universal consciousness. And here it goes through six rising processes of six chakras in the human body. Now, it does not talk about more than that. And it's a rising of six chakras, and that's it. That is the first step for rising of the consciousness itself. I'm making it very clear. It is first blissful sprout. Anku, the plant has not developed. It's the first step of creation. What I'm trying to do is talking about the first stage of creation in six stages. And I put that with Param Anant, blissful stage. To get that, this is the first Ankur or sprout or the just developing. We haven't reached. It's just a beginning process. It's a preliminary verse of Sat-Chakra-Nirupana. Once you understand, this is only going to start the journey. It does not give you the knowledge. It's a beginning for this particular part. When come to the question of ascent of Kundalini from Muladhara to Sahasrara, can go to the external place, which I'll talk in detail as we move on. But this is where in the center of the dot, which I showed you the picture, this is expanded, which could be your aura. That is the light you have to see. And that is what Shunya, that is zero, that is what realized from Rigved itself from the very beginning. It's a macro to the micro has to be understood completely. That is. Then come to the two stages of going up. Baharang mean outer sheath or inner sheath. I'll not get into this stage at this stage, but these are five stages which everybody talks about it. One is external route, one is internal route. We'll talk about it as we move on. Then come to the Sat-Chakra-Nirupana. This particular picture gives you only six centers. The six centers of consciousness. What are the six centers of consciousness? And I have written about this particular book talks about six goddesses and not seven goddesses. Then again, why only six goddesses? nothing more than that, and only six chakras, nothing more than that. Let us explore, enumerate, and explain the six fundamentally from A to Z, step by step, to understand what's the real beauty of Sat-Chakra-Nirupana. Why I consider this original Sanskrit work as a phenomenal work to understand Tantra Vidya completely. Without understanding six centers with six goddesses, you cannot go further at all. There are step by step experience comes. For rising also you have to start from zero, as I told in the picture, then expand step by step to reach the impeccable wisdom of the universal consciousness. This is the only thing which can take you. This is the very first step. If the first step is not right, subsequent steps will never be right. Now come to the first verse of Sat Chakra Nirupana is you have in the space outside the Meru. Now the question comes up it Meru Bahe Pardesha. That means in that space around the center Meru, which I call vertebral column, placed on the left and right two nadis or siras. One is Sashi, another is Meher, that is Ida and Pingla, and two sides. These are the two things which are related. Ida is related with the moon, Pingla is related with sun, and Sushma is related in consciousness. Now, three things have come. This is the beginning, which is talking about the placement of nadis first. Ida, Pingla, and Sushmana. That's it. Now I'm showing to in this particular picture is a picture of sympathetic system where you have left chain and right chain, which I call Ida and Pingla. Right in the vertebral column is a Meru mountain, which is being referred here as such. So Meru mountain is a vertebral column. Let that be understood. And left and right chains are the paravertebral left and right, which is important for sympathetic overactivity. Right at the bottom is Muladhara chakra. Then from there you have this particular structure of sympathetic system is designed with Devyank. You have 14 segments, thorax 1 to lumbar 2 in the center, from which 28 preganglionic fibers arise, and there are 45 ganglion which are associated. 45 by 28 is Devyak, which I am talking about. Now comes the question. It's an ancient picture of churning a primordial ocean, Sagar Manthan or Samundar Manthan. This picture is center is the Meru mountain. Different people might call by different, but I prefer to call it Meru mountain. And then you have left and right. One is Asuras, the other is Suras. They represent Ida and Pingla by and large. That picture is what it is. And right at the bottom, you can see tortoise, Kurma avatar, holding the mountain. That part we will go to later when we talk of Dasavatara from fish to Kurma as the second one. And this is second one is there. First one was fish, Matsya avatar. I have already spoken about it. Now come to the question of Sushmana Nadi. We have spoken about Ida and we have spoken about Pingala. Now coming to Sushma, that's written in the center you have Sushmana Nadi with three gunas. It has three qualities. What are those three qualities we're talking about? Is sun, moon, and fire or Agni. So in other words, Sushma's center part is a fire. One side is Ida, one side Pingla. Those three combinations is the what is the center which I showed you earlier. And then this Nadi center, Sushmana Nadi, is like a datura flower which is yellow in color. We are going to show you a picture of that. A copper extends from center of from Muladhara, perineum to the head. It goes on. So we know vertebral column and brain right up to reptilian brain is like. Now I am bringing a concept. This particular picture, the serpent fire means we say about reptilian brain of the human body for which this particular book is talking about. Reptilian brain is what this is all. This is inner consciousness of unconscious, subconscious part which makes sure that we are perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise, and happy without any requirement from outside. like fish and snake, by and large, do not go to doctor. They know how to take care because in them, this particular system is very, very strong. So this book is going to talk about reptilian nervous system. What it is, I'm going to tell you as we proceed. Then come to the Sushumna Nadi. Now here, I'm bringing you some concept which is not in the beginning part which I'm talking about. I'm jumping you from 6 to inside. Sushumna Nadi, within Sushumna Nadi you have a Vahani Nadi, which I relate with inner cerebrospinal fluid around the spinal cord itself. Now from vertebral column, we have come to inside the fluid around the brain and spinal cord, and that is Vahani Nadi, in which energy can flow outside as well as inside as such. Within that, you have Surya Nadi. That means inside you have a white gray matter which is ascending and descending, and that is Surya, that is the beginning part. Within the spinal cord, then inside you have a Chandra Nadi, a gray matter which has all the consciousness of perception of the mind itself. Then within that you have Brahmanadi, central canal. Into that the soul has to go to make you completely one. This stage comes much later, part of Sat-Chakra-Nirupana, which I, to the best of my knowledge, hardly anybody talks about it. But without going to this particular level, Kundalini Yoga or Antar Yoga will not be known. Right, as Sat-Chakra-Nirupana is talking about the sixth thing, same thing in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Ashtanga Yoga is also talking of that. That is also beginning of consciousness. But consciousness is not spoken. Consciousness is spoken in Akhand Yoga as the ninth and tenth only. Ninth and tenth is what this particular thing is talking about. What we are going to talk about is Ashtanga Yoga. First thing, external thing, right up to six goddesses. Let's understand that before we go on to further how we can go to higher and higher levels one by one. Second thing, now I'm trying to bring it to human anatomy. This is the spinal cord structure. Vertebral column is Sushumna Nadi. Subdural space around that contains CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. It is a Vahani Nadi. White matter, as you can see inside, that around is a Surya Nadi. Grey matter, which has a center, is a Chandra Nadi. And within that, you can see in the center, central canal. And that is Brahmanadi. Into that soul has to get in to make you completely be in tune with universal consciousness. Unless until your soul is able to get into the Brahmanadi after breaking Brahma Granthi and get to the ventricles of the brain, Vaikuntha, you cannot really see universal sun, because third eye of Shiva is in the ventricles, where pineal gland works at that to show you the knowledge within your body. And that experience is going to give you impeccable wisdom. That we will slowly take you step by step to that stage. If Akhandata has to be understood, you got to be self-realized completely. You have to be educated, you have to be enlightened, you have to be empowered with all the 64 arts to become complete. Otherwise, you are not even perfect human being as such. Now come to the question. I'm bringing something which has been used by Sanatana Dharma completely. Left side picture is the picture of the brain and the spinal cord as such, of the Sushumna Nadi as such. Center, I've shown you the Tura flower, which the structure is like a chakras. Then right side is the mace of Lord Hanuman, who is supposed to be very powerful with a sexual energy. With the muscles are very strong, arms is strong, he is very powerful. That means if Kundalini Shakti, now I am bringing Kundalini Shakti. Shakti is but it has got a power to produce lot of ojas. That means lot of testosterone and estrogen in the body. Once they rise and go through the Vahani Nadi, ojas is converted into tejas. It makes you intelligent, and that is what is real brahmacharya is. Have plenty of testosterone, use it for RBC, use it for muscles, use it for intelligence, and that is what it is all about. If you have this power of Gada like this, you are a perfect human being who is expert in brahmachar. That means your character will be fantastic. It is not sex. It is the power of testosterone into estrogen, which is going to make you super, super intelligent, in tune with you. This is the beginning of the first step into Vahani Nadi as such. Now come to the question of Kundalini. When talk of the Kundalini is particular description of 10 and 11 verse is that Kundalini looks like Shank, as you can see on the right side. It is conch, which is designed in length and breadth of Devyank alone. Now I am bringing Devyank length. If it is 1.618034, the width will be equivalent to 1. Or multiply that. That is Devyank ratio. But at the same time, Kundalini as such is in such a way that it's like a conch shell whose in space. That shape is right in the Shivling, which is 22 by 7, 11 by 7 on top, 11 by 7 under the ground. As such, I have already spoken about. That is a picture. It's talking about three vrit. Now, I do read in many books, they say 3.5 coils. It's not true. It's not 3.5 coils. It is 3 plus 1 7 coil. That means 22 7, which is pi. What we are talking about is a pi structure. If it is slow, if it is inactive, it is like a dot. When it's active, it is 22 by 7 pi, which is used to calculate in physics and maths wonders by and large. That's one. Now, in this picture, I'm showing Lord Brahma, as I told you. This is the first stage of creation. It is not further. That means 6 gods are represented in this, which are the first stage of creation itself. Now you can see 3 full heads, and plus 1 by 7 head is equal to 22 by 7, and that is pi. Now I have given the world a new mathematical design as a Brahman, which is found in Upanishads, many of the Upanishads. That means it is 1/3 of 22 by 7. That you come to 22 by 21. So 22 by 21 is the first stage of creation of Lord Brahma. You can creation, generation, whatever you call it. This is start the mathematical design. This is what is there in Sat-Chakra-Nirupana as the first step, which I am going to talk about it. Now come to the question of same thing. Is help me to understand how Divyank is formed. You go to my book and then see first. This is all going in spirals. I'm not talking about it, but let's go on further evolution. Now, having understood Kundalini, chakras, its dot position, which is Aditi helium 4, but expanded is like pi. But first stage of creation 22-21, we are slowly coming to mathematics of the perfection of the impeccable wisdom. But experiencing insight, the Kundalini from Mooladhara Chakra through Brahmanadi after Brahmic Brahma Granthi and rising and getting into ventricles gives you the oneness with universal consciousness within you. Once you have your Kundalini within your ventricles of the brain, you will be able to understand 100 trillion cells of your body. You will be able to understand complete Rig Veda. You will be able to understand Aitri Upanishad. You will be able to understand complete perfect anatomy, physiology and psychology of the human body to make you perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise and happy. Unless until your Antaratma comes to the ventricle, Vaikuntha, you will not be even complete to be healthy, wealthy, wise, and happy. That is what I realized in 1995 itself, and this is the experience which I am talking about, which is the 10th step of Akhand Yoga. Now, external manifestation, I told you, when Kundalini goes to the external, Annamay Kosh is the first, then it's followed outside by Pranamay, then Manomay, Vigyanmay, Anandmay. And this is Anandmay Kosh, which in this particular Satchakra I'm talking about. When I said Param Anand, it's Anandamay Kosh, which you're going to experience with this external factor itself. Kundalini can come from Mooladhara to Sahasrara, right to the chanting of Om itself. so that you can experience a Satchit Anand within you by chanting Om itself. That is what I was talking about. Mahamantra Pranava is Om. But Om again is 22 by 7 alone. This again comes to the same number. So they are coming to mathematics only, then you can have a conclusion. Otherwise, not at all possible. But and if you want to internalize, Taittiriya Upanishad does not talk of a punch steps outside. Annamekosh, Pranamekosh, Manomekosh, Vigyanmekosh, Anandmekosh, they are the six inside the body, not outside the body. What Theosophical Society is talking about five steps outside, which Sat-Chakra-Nirupana is talking about. But Taittiriya Upanishad says inside. But inside you talks about Guhyam, which is Vahini Nadi, central canal. Within that is Atma. Once these steps, 7 steps take place, then you get internalized. That is Antaryog. And now I'm bringing how these beautiful books have given the information which can make us be perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise, and happy being. Then come to the next stage. Once we have all this insight, Annamay Kosh, Pranamay Kosh, Manomay Kosh, Vigyanmay Kosh, Anandmay Kosh, Guhyam, Antaratma within us, and also have Paramatma, the universal consciousness of Aditi, helium 4 as Antaratma within. Outside, you understand Neon 21, which is Goddess Gayatri, or Adi Prashakti as Argan 40, or higher Krypton and Xenon. Once these are there, you understand yourself completely, you understand the universal consciousness completely. I have already spoken about 5 divine things last as such. You go to that stage, you become an Akhand Rishi, you know the entire universe by yourself. And this picture is of Divyank alone. Now come to the question of spiritual science. They don't understand science of 6 chakras as I have experienced, cognized within my body. I understand the beauty of 6 chakras and associated with 6 goddesses. Now I am bringing 6 goddesses, 6 chakras, which is very specific from a totally a different angle, which I have not seen anybody talking about it so explicitly with explanation. Now come to the question of verse 4. We had the preliminary force, we had the one, we have now coming to the fourth. Fourth is talking about Adhar Chakra or Mooladhara Chakra. Now as I'm talking, we come to Adhar, Mooladhara Chakra. It's attached to the mouth of Sushumna. As I told you, Sushumna Nadi is the center, Merudon. Right at the bottom, you have Mooladhara Chakra. It is placed below the genitals and above the anus in the perineum. It has 4 crimson petals and a downward head. That means there are only 4 petals there, not more, and it is projected down towards the legs. And there are 4 letters which Va, Sa of 3 different levels. One is palatal, one is brain, one as such. Once you understand that you have sa. That means entire music sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa from beginning to the end has to be understood sa. Once you understand sa, when you understand a, you understand complete vocal science as such. And that experience is again with Om alone. A gives you sa, a, and you are going to see some of those Bij mantras which I am talking about in this particular concept of 6 chakras. Not more than that. Now, this is again Mooladhara Chakra. Right at the bottom, you can see Moola. Both left and right meet at the bottom is ganglion empire, which is the center for Mooladhara Chakra. Now come to the question of the ancient Indian picture, which is Va, Sa. And the phonetic sound or Bij mantra or the seed mantra is La. And that is what I call it Mooladhara Chakra, or is connected with mal counts or Hindolam. If you look at Hindolam in Carnatic, is last ends with Lam. But if you look at mal counts, it is the reverse of Lam, it's in the beginning itself. That is a beauty. And the sonically sound is lam, as you can see in this picture, this ancient picture, and also four sound of sa. Va is there, sa, sha. That beauty of Sanskrit languages is vowels are beautiful, its constants are also good. Similarly, the beauty you have in 52 letters of Sanskrit makes it the most wonderful language for artificial intelligence in the universe because it's more scientific language than any other language in the world. Then come to the question again, picture of the Mooladhara, which that particular picture I show, the right picture is from that particular picture alone about Mooladhara chakra. The lower picture is my translation of the same wisdom with the same wisdom in a graphic presentation which is totally without animate pictures. And upper one is with animate picture, this is inanimate picture. But the same concept is there in this. Now to come to the question of showing what is ganglion empire and those things which I showed, where they are placed and where they united is something which I'm using science to answer. Now, in this two things going up Ida and Pingala and two things going to two legs. So the four petals are four nerves, two going up Ida and Pingala and two going down into two legs is what four is about. And it is what coccyx which I'm talking about. It's a ganglion empire or coccygeal ganglion, which science also knows, but not many people really know its value, are trying to how it can be used in lumbar puncture or operations anesthesia within through lumbar puncture itself. We will go to that at a later date. Now the comes to question of goddess Dakini, which is the one head, which is the goddess in this particular chakra. Now you can do pictures. Dawn picture is one is what is there in Sat-Chakra-Nirupana itself, and other one is only the same picture of goddess with one head. That means Mooladhara, the goddess is only one head. This is the first goddess which you're talking about, which is talking about Prithvi, the consciousness, solid element by and large. Now I am bringing Mooladhara chakra, goddess Dakini, is with physical health alone. Now, as I'm showing, it is connected with solid element and its percentage in Divyak is 38.1966%. And is also talking about Schumann resonance field, which is created, which I have shown later that I can produce 8 Hz alpha frequency through the brain with eyes open, which makes me the only person in the world having done that. We will show the picture as we move on. Now the comes to the question, second chakra, which is Swadhisthana chakra. Now comes the verse 14, which talks about Swadhisthana chakra. That means it is another beautiful vermilion lotus place inside the Sushmana. Now again, first one is below the Sushmana. This is inside the Sushmana at the roots of the genitals. That is below. This is second one. It is the genital. It is in Sushmanadi right inside. And then 6 letters are now. First one has got 4 letters, it has got 6 letters, and that is what it is there. There is a shiny color of lightning, but the phonetic sound of Mooladhara is Lam. The seed mantra or beach mantra for Swadhisthana is Vam, and that is why it is connected with Vama mark, Dakshin mark of Brahmacharya by and large. We will not go into that detail at this particular juncture. Now this is a picture of the ancient. You can see the worm written in the middle. You can see the earth water element now. The symbol is of water element. First was earth element, this is water element. And then 6 letters which are written, that is a picture of the ancient as such given in that book. Now I am going to take you to, this has got 2 heads in there. Right in the middle you can see a goddess with 2 heads. This picture I had bought almost 40 years back. And it's a beautiful picture from that. I thought people should see, because you're going to see Lord Vishnu sitting there. First one is Brahma. This is Lord Vishnu is coming up. Now you have 2 goddesses with a crocodile and water as such. They make a real significance. They also connected with moon, connected with the consciousness. That is what this is the moon, and how with the moon, female menstrual cycle, everything starts working towards an evolution from Matsya to first to here you have a reptilian brain, or you can call crocodile, lizards, reptile. They come to the second part of the consciousness. That's it. Now I'm showing the same picture again, which you can see two heads alone. So goddess Rakni has two heads. You have seen that. That is what it is. First is one head. This is two heads. Mean you have started moving up to the higher consciousness step by step. Four petals to six petals is again in the ratio of Divyank alone. Now the question, the symbol which I have made is the 10 outer and 6 inner. When I connect this with sacrum, has got 5 segments, 5 nerves, but there are 6 which are sacral parasympathetic. That ratio of 10 into 6 is Devyang ratio which I am talking about. That is where Devyang comes to play a very important role to understand ourselves completely. If we know ourselves completely, we can go to the higher level one by one, step by step. Now the question, I'm going to sacral parasympathetic. As I told you, Muladhara is a sympathetic at the end terminal. This is where sacral parasympathetic comes down. You can see 3 nerves, pelvic nerves, then 5 organs being presented. That ratio is also of Divyank alone. So you see the beauty. You see in sympathetic, you see in sacral parasympathetic also. Now come to the symbol of procreation. As such, is water element, and it's also related with Venus. And this water content is 61.80. First was Earth, solid matter, 38.1966%. Second one, the water element, Venus, 61 point. So both have that. The foundation is required. 1 and 2 give you the important thing for health. Water of this much percentage and solid of that, we will be healthy, wealthy, wise and happy. That is what I try to explain here. But here you have with Venus, that is with Earth. Now come to the third chakra, which is in verse 19, to the further one, and it talks about Navi chakra above it. That means after Muladhara and Swadhisthana, the third one at the root of the navel. Now you come to the navel. Is the shining lotus or 10 lotus flowers. Now 4, 6 added to become 12, 10. This is again same ratio. As I showed in the beginning, to this is that. And it's got raven color. And the colors are 10 letters written for Dhatu Fa. You're going to see it. And that is Bindu above that. Meditate on this region for 5. As I told you, first is the Prithvi element, solid. Second is water element. Third is the fire, and that is represented a triangle in the form and shining like a rising star. That's the beginning of evolution. Solid element, water. Now Agni is going to raise us, rise in the third in Nabhi chakra itself. So you have 3 bhutas itself now coming to that. Outside are the 3 swastika and bija. We will not go into details. But picture which is there in Sat-Chakra-Nirupana is shown in this. You can see a triangle which is pointing down with a swastik and the 10 letters as such. Will not go into it. But the phonetic sound here is Ram. Lam, Vam and Ram. Ram is Ram, and also the sound Ram makes it very important. That is phonetic sound of Muladhara chakra. Now come to the question of chakra which I have created through Akhand is the same 10 thing with a triangle going down. Is what representation is within me to say you experience is a beautiful thing to go about. But next I am going now bringing, if you're taking Muladhara chakra, is the perineal glands at the pelvic region which are responsible for smell. Second thing in water element with reproductive organs. Now, adrenal gland is associated with Navi. It has got 3 outer layers and adrenal medulla, and blood flows from outside inside so beautifully as a portal system. It's amazing work, and it has got 10 petals. And it is said, even Ramayana, that Ravan had soul consciousness stored in navel. Unless that is broken, he would not be killed. And he could survive 10 times till. So 10 Ravan. Ravan had super consciousness, and finally he had to be killed by breaking the navel chakra only, adrenal gland, because adrenal gland has the capacity to make you survive. The first stage of adrenal cortex produces mineralocorticoids to the absorption of water and sodium chloride and expulsion of potassium. Second one is to give you glucose to give you extra sugar. Third one is to give you androgen. This is testosterone and estrogen. And inside you have catecholamines, sympathetic system to give you the power for self-survival. That only Nobby has got. That is what is beauty in Ravan. That's what he has a 10 billion heads and he can survive 10 times come what may. Nobody else could do it because in him, navel was very, very strong. Now the question of goddess Lakshmi with three heads is a fire element. Prithvi or Bhumi, water or Jal or Aap, through Agni as such is three heads is the third stage of evolution in the triangle of Agni form. When it's coming down, it's an involution. When the triangle moves up, it becomes revolution and evolution. That's it. Now, this is connected with adrenal gland. Its nerve sympathetic supply, I'm talking about it. You can see it leisurely. It is completely with collateral mesenteric ganglia. First one was terminal end. Now it's a collateral. And center part is paravertebral. Ida and Pingala is vertebral. Here it is prevertebral, collateral one, associated. It passes through the center and then move on to adrenal. You can see right there. That's a beauty. Now its association is with Mercury. Now fire element and Mercury is something which I want you to understand. Now Mercury is the closest planet to Sun, and aura of the Sun has an aura on this. As a result, there's a lot of energy within Mercury, which we absorb, which can help us to go up or go down. So, energy required for descent of Shakti and ascent of Shakti is associated directly with Mercury alone. So, we have first three centers we have spoken about. Now come to the fourth center, which is verse 22, Anhata Chakra. Above, in the heart. Now coming. That was navel. This is heart. It's a charming lotus of shiny color of Binduka flower and there are 12 letters beginning with Ka and color vermin. It is known as Anhata. It's like the celestial wishing tree bestowing more than the desires of the person. And it is now talking about Vayu, earth, water, Agni to Vayu. This is the fourth bhuta of thing which Sanatana Dharma is talking about, and it's got six corners. And color is like smoke hail. So you can understand it is about Vayu going up, atmosphere going up. Now you can see this is a symbol which is there in the same book, which is Sat-Chakra-Nirupana avalanche or woodruff. And this is the picture they've sent. This is Vayu element. Again, going up or going down is a very important part. Then 12 petals and 12 letters, and the phonetic sound of the Bij mantra or seed sound is Yam. Lam, Vam, Ram, and Yam. So come to the four stages. Now come to my production of that. You can see the central part is same as that. And this is also I talk about a Mantra Vidya. But you have 12 petals here, which is Vayu, and it's unstrung. So that means foundation of yourself with mantras and bhakti yoga is the first thing you have to have devotion for divinity if you want to go up. And that's over and over I'm saying, whatever knowledge I'm sharing with you is because of my devotion toward Mata Vaishno Devi, who's incarnation of Goddess Durga. She's giving me the knowledge of the entire universe because she's rising from Mata Vaishno Devi, Ashtang Bhuja to Dasa Bhuja to 18 Bhujas, etc. She knows the whole universe. And she gives me the information. I'm trying to experience that and then trying to explain in the light of maths, physics, chemistry, and medical sciences as such. Now, this is connected with heart and is responsible. In this particular picture, I'm talking about 10 part of conducting system, which I talk about seventh level of nervous system, which nobody speaks about it. Once you come to that stage, you know what important is heart. And heart is the one which is responsible for bhakti yoga, devotion. For me, Mata Vaishno Devi. For anybody, could be anything. My personal advice is choose the God which is in human form. Do not choose the God which is not in a human form. If you can talk, you can find some incarnation of Brahma, Vishnu, or Shiva, Saraswati, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, Durga, Goddess, which have taken birth in human form. Choose that. You will have a better knowledge. And that is what I believe. Bhakti Yoga of this has been given to me by Mata Vaishno Devi because she is a living goddess incarnation in human form of goddess Durga as such. And Trikuta mountain, three pindis of Saraswati, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, all the three are there. And they, all the three are important for me to see. That's the reason I need to make myself to understand Brahma, Vishnu and Shiv, all the three, or Saraswati, Mahalakshmi and Kali, all the three. Once I understand the whole thing, only then I can be complete. Completely a one document. Shaivism, Vaishnavism, Judaism, Jainism are very sectarian. That given cannot give you impeccable wisdom. Finally, you have to understand all the three are together, and that is what Devyank is. So you have to respect for every religion, everything, but become complete by yourself. That's more important. Then come to the next stage. I am showing this is goddess Kakni with four heads and its air element you can see very clearly. So one head, two heads, three heads, four heads. We have moved to the fourth level from Prithvi to Jal to Agni to Vayu. So how beautifully is step by step we are moving up. Now this is connected with autonomic nervous system. There now I am bringing cranial parasympathetic vagus nerve as well as sympathetic nerve from dosic, which is important for the heart and lungs in the chest. And that is what Anahata Chakra is all about. So both sympathetic as well as parasympathetic cranial come together to make us complete. And that's what devotion has very important. Provided your devotion is 100%, you leave it to divinity. Divinity will make sure that you can understand A to Z, and that is what my life is all about. I make it clear. My first strength is devotion toward Mata Vaishno Devi and leave it. Nothing can change. And whatever I'm doing is only what she has given me the knowledge. I've tried to understand, experience, and then explain in the light of maths, physics, chemistry, and other sciences. That's it. So devotion, anahata, is very, very important. Now, coming to the element, I spoke about Bhumi, then Venus, then Mercury. Now coming to the Sun. We have started the journey from Earth. Next to Earth is Venus. Then Mercury. The next one is only a Sun. And there is the aura of the Sun, which is important, where number 10 has become 12. Same direction of sunlight going in the same 10 direction. That's it. That's what Upanishads are talking about. But I put two more as an aura to make it 12. At the same time, it is also true, this is associated with thorax segment, which has got 12 vertebrae and 24 nerves. And that's what makes Gayatri Mantra super. So 12 petals are because of 12 nerves coming from 12 segments as such. Now you can understand why 12. That's it. Now come to the fifth stage, verse 28, Vishuddhi Chakra. In the throat is the lotus Visuddhi, which is pure and of smoky blue purple color. Now again, it's a purple color which stands out. It is pure, it can purify, it can rectify. And all the 16 shiny walls of Sanskrit language are put in 16. That means this particular throat is connected with larynx and going to be used for transformation with phonetics. And for that, 16 vowels of Sanskrit are the best thing. Start from a, I, u, re, le, o, aha. Once you do that, you can feel the experience coming from bottom right up to top so beautifully. You can experience yourself one with universal consciousness. I have experiences and I'm telling you. And Bij mantra here is Ambra, a sky. Now we go to the next step. Here, the phonetic sound is connected with quintessence Akash Bhuta, the fifth element. 16 lotus flowers, 16 balls, and the sound mantra is Hamsa. Lam, Vam, Ram, and now come to Yam, then Hamsa. So it's the fifth level, it's Hamsa. Whereas in this heart, it was Yam. Here it's Hamsa. That goes, and you can see all the vowels of Sanskrit language written about. And if you have to master the languages, you got to vowel these 16 vowels very clearly. I can assure you, start from aha properly. Your consciousness of Kundalini rise from bottom inside to the highest consciousness by chanting this as Hamsa or Soham or Om alone. Now come to the question of my picture which I have made is a blue purple and 16 patterns. Now I am going to show you cervical region of body. Although they say the 7 spines, but actually hyoid bone with that is 8. But the nerves which arise from this neck part are 16 nerves. So you can understand these 16 have got association with nerve. That means the people who wrote Sat-Chakra-Nirupana were very knowledgeable about perfect anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, psychology, one by one perfectly. I think they knew better than what anybody on today knows. I think that's the beauty. Now, when come to Vishuddhi Chakra, come to purification, larynx, and I can tell you one example from primordial churning of ocean, which I told you in the beginning of the picture of churning of ocean. First thing which comes out blue, black vapors, and how they kill, how then Lord Shiva takes it, and Parvati puts a snake around, is a beautiful science of talking about iodine as the 53rd element, but iodine as a ionic form becomes 54 like a xenon and give you the knowledge of the universal highest consciousness. That's what I'm able to show, that I can travel to Kailash through astral travel using iodine or xenon at any given moment of time. That is the wisdom which I'm talking about. Now with that we come to the fifth stage. But when come to the fifth stage, you can see there are 5 heads in the god and the goddess both. You had started in the beginning, Brahma, second, Vishnu. But at this stage, you have Lord Shiva with 5 heads, Panchabhutas, and at the same time, goddess also with Panch. So you come to the fifth stage, which is Akash Bhuta. How beautiful are the pictures? How symbolic are the pictures? Same elephant was there in Muladhara, same element is there. But you have risen to higher levels of consciousness one by one. Now come to the question of another aspect which I want people to understand. This is thyroid gland and also cranial nerve vagus and sympathetic disc, a cerebral region, make the sound become perfectly fine. Now when I talk of the sound, if you can take your consciousness to Muladhara chakra and then chant Om, it will be different. But if you go to from Swadhisthana, it will be different. Navi, it will be different. Anahata is different. And Vishuddhi, again, is different. And that is what makes this particular phonetic sound make you do the universal consciousness as you move up higher and higher and higher. Right up to Hamsa we have come. From Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam to Hamsa we have come. Now the chakra which is the Mars. After the Sun, it is a Mars which is last inner planet along with Earth, Venus and Mercury. They are solid planets. So Vishuddhi has come to the fifth level and is symbolic of energy, center of energy. I think that makes it very, very interesting. Again, now come to the experience of that, I have experienced these five things way back in 1992 when consciousness from Muladhara to Swadhisthana to Navi to Anhata to Vishuddhi, and I experienced that Shunya within and Shunya outside. That was the most experience, consciousness experience I had to understand what is zero, what is circle, what is sphere, and how it is written in Rig Veda as the Shunya itself. Now come to the sixth table, verse 32 is Ajna Chakra, which is six, which is this book is talking about. This last one is what to talk about. Ajna Chakra is like a beautiful white moon. There are two petals with letters Ha and Sha. Now we come. You had 16, now you have only two petals. It shines with the glory of Dhyana. Inside is the goddess Hakni and six has it. There's six arms with a book, a shielding hand, and the six things which are there you're going to see in Hakni as such with six heads. This is the picture of the Ont you can see right in the middle, two words on this side, and this is a picture which was done years ago of Ajna Chakra as such, and the phonetic sound from Hamsa has come to Om now. Beautiful. Lam, Ram, Vam, Yam, Hamsa to Om. See how beautifully it's going up. And this is a picture which I have created, but that picture talks about two chakras, and I am talking about 28 chakras here. That's the difference in Akhand pictures. Now, further evolutions will start later, which I will talk it much later, not now. But instead of two, I call it 28 lotus petals. That is the difference now. This has your concentration with Brahman, universal consciousness, and divine as the sixth product by and large. Now come to the question of its association is with unconscious subconscious mind, with hypothalamus and two pituitary glands, and central endocrine and autonomic center. Within that, your reptilian brain, serpent brain, is complete. You have come to brain stem. Brainstem and spinal cord is all which talking about in six centers as such. I think that is where medical science detail with that is able to understand concept very, very clearly. Without a scientific knowledge, spirituality has no relevance at all. Now see this particular picture. This center of higher consciousness, Hakni with six heads. Impeccable wisdom of divine nature is known only when you come to this level of thing where unconscious, subconscious, conscious center merge together. And you can see the two patterns on either side. Right in that you can see Shiva as Brahma, this Sakta and Shakti together, and also six heads of Hakni. Beautiful work. You can see the evolution. This is what universal consciousness is all. Now I am bringing the picture which I had designed in 1992 of Shakta and Shakti. Are Shiva and Shakti. But there are many things in this particular picture I have explained over and over. Right now, I will not go into it, but a lot of impeccable wisdom in this picture alone, which include Divyank, also Sindhu, also Ganga, also many things which are universal, which I have explained in other videos. Now, come to the question of this after asteroid belt is asteroid belt. Now, we started with Earth, then Venus, then Mercury, with the Sun, Mars. Now we come to asteroid belt, which is fifth planet thing as such in solar system. That is it all disintegration takes place. Now we are moving from solid planets right up to Mars inside to subtle planets outside. In between, you have a disintegrated thing called asteroid belt. And that is why this 2, which should have been 28, is what I'm talking about. I'm talking the totality, but that is talking only to, that is the level that particular book has come to. Let's accept it. Now come to the question of impeccable wisdom of Akhand Tantra Vidya, which I am talking about. Now, right up to this, you have seen what Satchakra Turkmen talks about six levels of goddesses. As such, I'm sure you understand. But I have taken it further as Akhand Tantra Vidya at much higher level. What are that? Let me show you the experiences which I have at a further evolution from that level to the next level. As I told you, that is Ashtanga Yoga Patanjali. Then Akhand Yoga is my further step. Now we are talking about Akhand Yoga. Patanjali part is right up to that, what you're seeing in six. That's it. Now come to the question. I brought now seven chakras. But the last one in this picture, you can see Sahasrara chakra inside. That's one. Now I'm bringing it seven chakras, which everybody is talking about. This is one picture, that was another picture. Now I'm going to explain the correction. Sasra has been added instead of Om. With a phonetic sound, with a bhakti yoga, which I told you the first foundation, it is Om. But in consciousness for Gyan Yoga, it is Sahasrara chakra. So six chakras, the goddesses are with bhakti, devotion. But here it is a consciousness. So it is associated with reptilian brain, I have already shown. Then ideal Som mantra is Om. Again arising from that is the ideal homeostatic integrated state is there in brainstem, and also perfect health can start with spiritual science. All that is there in 16. This is the correction. Now I'm going to show the picture which Akhand I have made. Right in the middle bottom, you can see the snake, reptilian. It's a cobra sitting there, right at the bottom part. That's why the serpent pine, and this is represented here. So without serpent power, you can call Ida, Pingla, Sushma, other thing, nothing is really complete. But I have converted the site. You can see the fish. You can see the fish as the first thing. Then you can see the upper part of snake as the kurma, and whole thing put together as reptilian. So you are going to see about fish, kurma, and serpentine, all the three right in Sat-Chakra-Nirupana as such. And this picture is symbolic of that. Once you are able to understand, you can go further. What impeccable wisdom you experience when you are one with universal consciousness. That's it. That kind of knowledge is required for everybody to move on. Now, I actually told you, serpentine is a reptilian brain, which is the consciousness of unconscious, subconscious, and conscious brainstem. Another thing, you can see the picture. Right up to this picture is what I am talking about in Sat-Chakra-Nirupana as such. Now, I am bringing seven chakras and showing this association with the bones of this part, which is the central axial part. Coccyx is the first step, which is Muladhara. Sacrum is Swadhisthana. Lumbar, it is Nabhi. Thorax is Anhata. Neck is Vishuddhi. And face and head put together become seven. You can face and put together could be six, and face and head separate could be seven. Now you see the association. First, it is vertebral column with Sushmana Nadi and the inner structure. These are the bone structures surrounding that. So seven is completely outside. Within that you have is reptilian brain, which I spoke about it. This is a shield for that. How beautiful is that? But now let's me go further. From my experience from 91 initiation, 92 were that, and 93 I realized that Kundalini, all the three, Ida, Pingla, Sushmana Nadi, all the 10 centers I realized, and that's a picture which I have shown in this particular. But this is a picture has given me the aura around. I'll not go into detail, but let's move on to the next stage. But internalization of 10th step is taken place in 95. External 93. Initiation 91. Every 2 years, I've been able to move one step further. Now there comes the question of ascent to the Kundalini, as I told you. Anandamay Kosh, which Sat-Chakra-Nirupana is talking about, I have experienced that way back in 93 itself. Now, Bharang is from outside, whereas Antarang is the same thing in reverse, which takes me right into Brahmanadi and gives me the experience of inner consciousness from 8 of Ashtang to 10 Ang of Akhand Yoga as such. Now, when my Atma comes within the ventricles of the brain, it's able to produce 8 hertz frequency throughout the brain with eyes open is my enlightenment. And that is what Akash Kosh Schumann resonance field is talking about, ionosphere layers are talking about, inner layer is 7.83 hertz, which he talks about it. My consciousness to that will make me very close to the earth element. I'll not go to other two states, come what may be. For me, 8 hertz throughout the brain is the closest to 7.83, which is the ideal situation I'm talking about. Now, as a result, the outer three layers of neocortex of the brain, which are not realized by others, as I told you, Sat-Chakra-Nirupana talking about reptilian brain. On top of that, you have mammalian brain. Then you have primate brain. But on top of that, you have three outer layers which no one in the world even knows. And that is what makes me get 8 hertz alpha frequency through the brain with eyes open, is because of the thing, and I'm in tune with universal consciousness. And that is what this particular picture is. And that is reflected into my EEG with the closed eyes, 8.5 hertz. With the open eyes, it 8 hertz. And I'm in human resonance field, ionosphere, Akash Kosh. And that oneness with universal consciousness given me the power of what I'm talking step by step to the world of the impeccable wisdom as such. If you experience that and you become part, only then you have impeccable wisdom. Otherwise, you'll only be like a copycat, reading and trying to explain and call yourself guru. And because I am like this, I continue to remain as a student and I share the experience with the world, not as a guru, only as a student, because every guru is with everybody as my antaratma. And my devotional mata is giving me the power. So everybody would have to have their own insight and look for someone who is really universal, not someone human being form. Your guru should be your antaratma, maybe divine souls of the high level like Mata Vaishno Devi. You can have Rama, you can have Krishna, you can have anyone, you can have Shiva, you can have Saraswati, any of those things. But they should be human forms. Now, as a result, now I understand that the sixth thing much better, which I explained, is through my own experience as such. Now, as I told you, this particular picture I've shown earlier, now I am able to in tune with universal consciousness also one by one higher. As a result, five divine souls which I talked about, helium, 4 as Aditi, neon 21 as the Gayatri, Argon 40 as Adi Prashakti. And then Krypton and Xenon have given me the knowledge right up to Kailash mountain, also of iodine, and all the sodium, potassium, this and that. Complete knowledge of Rig Veda, Ayurveda, and other things I have experienced. As such, as a result, I am able to talk about that to the universal consciousness that it can be done by everybody, one by one. Now they come to the third picture. This picture has all the explanations which I have spoken about it. You have Ida here, you have Pingla, you have Sushmna, you have Surya Nadi, you have Chandra Nadi, you have Brahma Nadi, you have 10 chakras, mind, consciousness, everything. And this central simple is same, which Western science also has and Indian also have, and I have improvised from my experience to give. Once you are able to understand this level, you can be in tune with universal consciousness. And I'm sure by the end of this video, you know Sat-Chakra-Nirupana is talking about reptilian brain only. Unconscious, subconscious, conscious stage. First, Panchbhutas plus higher level, and also six goddesses, and also now we're talking seven, and also of 10. How I have come up to this level that I am able to reveal the word of Divyang to the world as such. I think once you understand all my videos, you will have the power to translate that into the knowledge for the world and have a perfect CV one by one. As I have got the best CV with from school, college, university till today, and everybody can have, provided they attribute to this and learn from here. You cannot get that with the kind of books which are available. You need to understand that. If you do it, your life is done with. So thank you very much. I think it's enough for the day. Thank you.